welcome back to Bill with the Boys. It's time for our weekly catch-up. It's a little overdue, but as I said, I've been away on business. I've been to Germany, and I'll tell you about Germany. It was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare. So the first plane that I got from Birmingham Airport, I flew from Birmingham to Amsterdam, had to change at Amsterdam to fly on to Bremen, which is where I went, which is in the top left corner of Germany, if you will. Was an hour late. So my hour and a half transfer time in Amsterdam became a 25-minute transfer time by the time I got off the plane. So I pretty much knew my bags were going missing, and they did. So when I landed in Bremen, my bags never came off the plane, which was problem number one. Problem number two was I went to the Lost and Found at Bremen, which is kind of the procedure. I've had this before, on trips before where I've had transfers, I've had it before, and it's never normally a problem, because like the next flight in, your bag will be on it. So I went to the Lost and Found at Bremen Airport, and this is where things got mental, because it was shut. And I'm like, how is your Lost and Found shut? And they're like, oh, it doesn't open today. I'm like, today? They're like, no. There was a Scottish couple there that had a train to catch from Bremen, and wasn't going to happen, because they didn't have their luggage at all, and their luggage was, even if it came in later that night, they weren't going to get it, which is ridiculous. So I got my luggage back. This is insane. The next time they were open was 4 o'clock the day I was leaving, right? So my plane was leaving. I had to check in at 4:20. So I got my baggage back 20 minutes before the plane left. How nuts is that? Absolutely insane. But that's what happened. But other than that, I mean, my actual business trip in Germany was quite nice. I mean, I'm smart enough to know that you keep certain things in your hand luggage, and that's the way it works. Everything goes in the hold. But I got to see some models. And in Bremen, they have got, in the town hall, they've got some very old model ships, like really old, like 330 years old. And here's a picture of one. It's beautiful, and what's remarkable about that model is that the cannons on it are all oversized. They're not in scale, and the reason why is because you can fill that model with gunpowder, and they fire. Incredible but true. They can fire that thing, and they do it annually to test that it still works, and it checks, and they do its thing to it, and any repairs need to be done. But they can't fire it indoors, because if they do, it shatters the stained glass windows that are in there. The power of it will knock the windows out, which is amazing. I didn't get to visit any of the model shops I wanted to visit when I was gutted, because I looked into them, I researched them. They were huge. They had everything you could imagine. But I couldn't do it. I didn't have time to do it. And even if I did, without my bag, I had no way of taking any of this stuff back. So I couldn't just take armfuls of models through as hand luggage. So unfortunately, but I'll be going back there at some point, and that's fine. Next on my agenda is North Carolina and South Carolina. Hopefully that's not going to be this year. I'm hoping that's January, and that I don't have to go. Put it this way, I haven't got my visa isn't live for America. We go through the ESTA, and I don't have that at the moment, so it ain't gonna be the next 6 weeks, put it that way. So hopefully it'll be after Christmas. But that's what we did there. Another thing that we got this week, we literally got this today, is we got our Titanic captain from the current Lego minifigure collection. Now, if you've seen any of Oscar's videos on the page, we buy the collections, we get a whole set, and we've made finding them a dark art, where just by squeezing the bag, we know what's in there. Because what we do is we study these figures, and we see each one's got a unique piece. You can see, for instance, there, the fairy there has got sugar cane. That's what we'd look for. We'd look for the candy cane. Find it, we can get all of them in one hit without duplicates. Lego have cottoned onto this. Now, they're saying it's for sustainability. We don't believe that for a second. This is the last time these figures are going to be in bags. So squeezing to find is not going to happen. They're all going into boxes, which means you're not going to be able to get a full set without buying a lot of duplicates, which means we are out of the collectible minifigure market. We've decided we'll buy like one, and that's it, maybe two, and roll the dice. But the chances of you getting a full set without going through eBay and paying a premium through a second-hand seller, slim to none, unless you're prepared to buy an entire case, which we're not prepared to do, because we don't want loads of duplicates. We just don't, and it's a shame. But that's what they've chose to do. I get why they're doing it. They say it's for sustainability. I don't buy that. But if it's an attempt to boost sales, I could see it doing the opposite thing, because again, there's no way we're going to buy 50, 60 of them to get 12, because that's what you'd need to do, unless you bought the case. It's a shame, but that's the way it is, unless we figure out a way of finding out what's inside those boxes. And if there's a will, and there is a will, there's a way, and there is always a way. So we'll have a look when those boxes come out, how we're going to get around it. But yeah, Titanic Captain's great. He's a very nice one with his little ship. Very easy to find if you're looking for one of these, because you just got to find this. As long as you find the ship, nothing else has this, and it just feels like a ship. Squeeze the bags, find the ship, get your Titanic Captain. And he's going to be watching over our build up on our shelf here. Royal Mail have delayed what we've done. So we did the Disney Dolls House yesterday. That was about 9-10 days late. I was so tired from my trip, I had to watch those videos back today because I had no memory of building it. I knew I'd done it, and I'm like, I must have been damn near asleep when I did it. So I've checked, I've made no mistakes, but I had no real memory of doing it. That's how tired I was. But it was about 9 or 10 days late, and that is due to Royal Mail strikes, multiple Royal Mail strikes. Now, since then, it's been announced that there are going to be 10,000 job losses at Royal Mail. Now, that's not 10,000 people losing their jobs. About half of those are going to be through kind of, they won't replace people when they leave, or they will merge jobs together. That's what that means. But there is going to be very high redundancies, 5,000 to 6,000 redundancies, which is terrible. It's terrible. Redundancy is an absolutely horrible thing. I don't wish it on anyone at all. I've gone through it multiple times. It sucks. It sucks. It's garbage. You've done nothing wrong, but somehow you lose your job because of somebody else's errors, and it's not right. How that affects the strikes, I don't know, because Royal Mail are doing what I expected them to do and putting the blame of having to make these redundancies on the strikes, which I kind of get what they're saying, but a lot of damage had to be done to get to this point anyway. It's not right. And I mean, I understand completely that the postal workers want a better wage, and I understand they want better working conditions, but the reality of it is, when you're working for an industry that's losing 350 million a year, there is no more money. There is no more money. So I don't know what the strike is now going to achieve, because it's difficult to, I want a pay rise, even though 6,000 people are losing their jobs. Is not gonna, it doesn't balance. It's not gonna make sense. So I don't know what's going to happen there. I understand, again, from Royal Mail's side of it, playing devil's advocate, I get it, because I've seen I know small companies that relied on Royal Mail, companies I use, now can't use them anymore, because they don't trust that the strikes aren't going to affect it. They're not happy with the service for tracking and things like that. They seem a little outdated there. So they're using independent shipping agents. So they've moved away from Royal Mail because their business relies on these things getting into the hands of customers. So they just can't use them anymore. So I don't know what's going to happen there. My heart goes out to anybody that's going to be affected by this. It really does. I don't know how that's going to affect this going forward. So I don't know what happens to strikes now. I don't know if they still go ahead with it. But it seems odd to do that now, because you're striking for money when there's clearly no money. They're losing £1 million a day at Royal Mail. So I don't know. I mean, if everything goes back on track, our next Disney Dolls House parts will be coming in just shy of 3 weeks, just under 3 weeks, about 2 weeks, 5 days. And our Titanic parts should be here in about 2 weeks' time, about 2 weeks today, or 2 weeks yesterday. I would imagine the next Titanic's going to be here. Iron Man still hasn't arrived. That was marked for delivery, never turned up. So I don't know. It's all very sad. I think it's all very sad. But we'll have to see what happens. There is new models coming from Roker. They have just shown pictures of the tilt-a-whirl, and it is a thing of beauty. Take a look at this. It's beautiful. They've gone for the teacup ride style, and it tilts, and it has 2 gears, so it works in the forwards, it works in the reverse as well. So it goes 2 ways round, lights up, the music plays. It's beautiful. It's a gorgeous thing. It's so much better than I thought it was going to be. I don't know what I had in my head, but it wasn't that. I just think it looks absolutely beautiful. It goes with the colour scheme of the other 2 in the set. which are just stunning. There is a fourth one coming as well. So the fourth one is going to be a drop tower. They've just said drop tower. No idea what that's going to look like. Now in my head again, it's a pole with a thing that goes up and drops. But I don't know, because they surprised me with that one. With those teacups, it looks so much better than I thought it was going to be. So I don't know. But I'm excited. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what they come out with. There's some really, really nice models coming out from Roker now. So Roker, I can never know how to pronounce it, have been around for a long time. And they have two brands. They have Roker, which is, and Robot Time, which are kind of the traditional wooden ones, which you can see over here. And then they have Row Life. Row Life are kind of like small dolls' house rooms, and the diorama, the book nooks. So the book nooks here were Roker. The ones that are like the little rooms were Row Life. And they're beautiful. They're really nice. They're lovely things, but they're great. If you've never made one, give one a go. And I will say this, sometimes you look at it and think, well, the smaller ones will be easier. Not really. I don't find that. I find the smaller ones so small that sometimes they're difficult to do, and the larger ones are easier. I made one called Orpheus, the robot I've shown on the channel before, and he was quite simple. But they vary in range, so they can go from 2 hours to 6 hours to even 10-hour build on some of these. But they're beautiful. They're really nice. You can get vehicles, you can get robots, you can get all kinds of things and gadgets, but they're beautifully turned out. They're really nice models. I can't recommend them enough. So keep an eye out for those. And if you are looking for something between projects to do, they're a lot of fun. I highly recommend them. What's new in the world? A Jurassic World Park collection has just launched in France. I don't know if it's a trial or not, but it's collectible dinosaurs. It's not for me. But each week you can get like the figurine collections. It's dinosaurs, so it'll be all the dinosaurs of Jurassic Park. The first one they've done is a Triceratops. I have got some fairly naff images, but here's what they look like. And that's Hachette at the moment. I don't know if that's a trial or a full run. I think they've gone full run straight away with it. I'm not sure, but it is what it is. It's a figurine collection, and if you know figurine collections, you know very rarely do they run for the actual scheduled time they're going to. I think that's 60. I don't think there are 68 dinosaurs in Jurassic Park and Jurassic World films to date. There might be, but certainly not major ones. So I would imagine there's going to be a lot of lesser known dinosaurs fleshing out that collection. I don't know if they're doing vehicles with that or characters, or if it's just the dinosaurs. I don't know. It'll be a bit weird if they do the characters, because none of it's going to be to scale. Because if your Triceratops is this big, your character's going to be this big. Don't know how they're going to do it. If they do characters, it's not going to be scale. And if they do vehicles, it's not going to be to scale. I think it's just the dinosaurs. It's called the Dinosaur Collection, which suggests it's just the dinosaurs. But I'm sure you'll get, multiple raptors. So you'll get the ones from Jurassic Park, which were kind of the browner colour ones, and then the ones from Jurassic World, where you'll get blue and delta, and you'll get those ones they did for, I want to say in Jurassic Park 3, where for some reason they now have Mohicans. I don't know. But I would imagine that's what you're going to get. The Jurassic Park collectible market is huge. Jurassic Park and Jurassic World have an absolutely massive fan base, huge fan base. And there is some serious money being exchanged for the very early Jurassic Park toys. So I want to say it was Kenner, but I don't think it was. It might have been Kenner that did the first Jurassic Park toys back in 1993. Don't quote me on that. But those are worth some money now. So if you've got those boxed or in good condition, it's crazy money for them. But there is a massive, massive collectible market. So it makes sense they've done this. Now, the thing that kind of gives me a little bit of interest in this is if Hachette, because that's who's doing this one, have got a deal with Universal for Jurassic Park, I'm hoping possibly we could see a park model of the Jurassic Park Explorer. How good would that be? That car's just iconic as hell. I'd make that in a heartbeat. That was on my list, on my wish list of ones I'd like to see. I'd do that. I'd do a Jurassic Park Explorer. Definitely. So who knows? Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But imagine it. You got the base with the rail and things like that. Maybe the gates. That'd be gorgeous. But that'd be good. That'd be good. And also, it strikes me as quite an amazing coincidence. In a very short period of time, we've seen 2 part works around Universal Studios properties. So we've seen the test run of E.T. that's happening in France at the moment, and also Jurassic World and Jurassic Park. Both of those are properties of Universal Studios, which makes me wonder that if a deal is now taking place with a licensing through Universal is something Hachette and other model companies are looking at, and they're accommodating it, what else we could possibly see. Before that, I mean, like the Dodge Charger, Fast and Furious is a Universal Studios property. So we've seen that one. But if we're now seeing more Universal properties coming out, it makes me wonder what else we could see. Potentially, if we could see an ET ship, like the ET model. I actually quite like the ET model they're building. They've just done his face and his eyes in France in the trial, and he looks really good. They've really captured they've captured the character. When you see his eyes moving inside the model, it looks fantastic. It just puts me off this kind of it's what's put me off the Alien. It's what's put me off that Batman they put out as well. I don't want to be gluing rubber to models. I can just see that being a nightmare, and I question how well that will age, because it's just going to perish. If it's a latex or a PVC or whatever it is, it's going to they lose their elasticity, and that stuff almost like cracks after a while. So you got to treat it. If you are going to, it's not going to happen to everybody. If you treat that stuff, you'll be fine. But you almost have to lubricate that stuff to keep it kind of good. Otherwise, it does go bad, which is sad. But I mean, it's what's putting me off the Alien. The amount of glue you have to put on the Alien just to hold that skin on, and I can just see myself constantly gluing skin back on him, and that's what kind of puts me off. So E.T.'s going to be the same. I mean, he's latex, and I don't know. I mean, I really want to build it. I kind of really want to build it. I like it because I just think it's weird. I think it's a very unique build, and there's an appeal there. I mean, I'm curious what it's going to be, because I mean, he ain't got legs. He's just got feet. So there's no legs to build. I mean, the bulk of that, I know the neck goes up and down, and that's going to have to be a hell of a unit to do that, because that head is going to be heavy. I mean, his head looks like a honey roast ham, so the weight of that thing, and then it's going to be interesting to see how that all works. But I don't know. I'm going to have a look at it. If it goes to a full run, if it becomes available here, I'd definitely consider it. But what else are we going to see? If there's Universal properties being touted about now, possibly an Orca. Imagine that. You build a boat from Jaws. That'd be awesome. I know you can. There are scratch kits out there, but I mean, if you could get a part work of the Orca, man, I'd like that. Or even Jaws himself. Who knows? Maybe Bruce the Shark from Jaws might end up being another one of these figures as soon as they're going in this rubber skin move at the moment. Who knows? Who knows? And what other Universal properties could come up? I mean, you've got Men in Black. You've got the Twister. You've got all kinds of things. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. But that is Universal. What have we got coming up on the channel this week? Well, I've got just a backlog at the moment because the inconvenience of having to work for a living gets in the way of doing something fun. So I've got like 3 months of R2-D2 we have to catch up on, because if I'm free, Jack isn't. If Jack is free, I'm not. So we're ships in the night at the moment, me and him. Our schedules are completely out of sync. So once me and him can get that done, we're going to bang out all 3 of those packs, and we've got to do it. We're going to do it this week. It's going to be done. So that will be up on the channel next week. We keep threatening it, but it will be. We will find the time to do it. So the next 3 R2-D2s will be up. We haven't got Iron Man. He never turned up. He might turn up in the week. If he does, we will do it, because Iron Man is notoriously short, so doing those won't be a problem. I have got pack 10 of the Root Master here, which I still haven't done. I plan to have that done and out possibly tomorrow, if not Monday. We have Disney Crochet. We're still doing the Disney Crochet. It's quite a powerful image. Somebody who looks like me, because I'm massive and I'm also like 6'4", sitting on a plane to Frankfurt crocheting. It's an amazing powerful image. I got a lot of strange looks, but I'm cool with it. We've got that coming up as well. We've got Marvel talk. Oscar is very desperate to talk to you about the She-Hulk finale, which introduced some new characters. One of them very unexpected. No spoilers for us if you haven't seen it. And he really wants to talk to you about Werewolf by Night, which we watched when it launched. Not Friday before. We adored it. We loved Werewolf by Night. We thought it was so good. and he's very desperate to talk to you about that. So there will be a Marvel talk coming up. We have also got some more Roker and Row Life models that we haven't built yet, which we would like to put up on the channel. I won't tell you what they are. We'll save those and drop in surprise ones. But that's about all from me. If you haven't yet, please hit the like button. It helps us massively. What helps us even more is the subscription. If you're one of our thousands, and we do have thousands of viewers that haven't hit the sub button yet, be a rascal and hit that sub. It helps us tremendously, and I'll do something nice for you. I'll dance at your wedding, I'll fill your ice cube trays, whatever you want. Just let me know. If you want to contact us, you can drop a comment down below, or you can email us. You can email us at buildingwiththeboys@outlook.com. We're happy to answer any questions or anything you're working on. If you see anything, wow, they'd be interested in this, send it over. Let's have a look. And we can feature on the channel. If you're working on something that you're going, check this out, show us that as well. If you're happy for us to show it, we'll show it. That's all from me. In a world where you can be anything at all, just be nice, and I will catch you on the next one.